must have the precious. They stole it from us. Sneaky little hobbitses.
I think one of the biggest challenges with the Two Towers is bringing the character of Gollum to life.
Action!
Gollum is groundbreaking because he's not only CGI, but he actually is a performance-based character. He's not comic relief. He's not sort of an antic. He really is a major dramatic character.
So we cast this wonderful British actor called Andy Serkis very early on. He was very much in control of the character, and I don't think that's ever been done on the film before.
Wicked, tricksy, false. No, master. Yes, precious, false.
He has a schizophrenic kind of personality. The Gollum side and the Smeagol. Smeagol is the younger, naive character he was before he became corrupted by the ring. And Gollum's been suppressing that like a kind of an abusive parent, really. He's the survivor, and he's kind of knuckled him down.
They will cheat you, hurt you, lie. Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
As far as the design goes, we've referenced a lot of facial from Andy Serkis. We took a lot of his facial characteristics, the way he moves, the way his mouth moves, just his personality, and tried to put it into Gollum.
So when Andy's doing expressions, and we have the same expressions being done by Gollum, they look like two kind of really weird twins.
You're a liar and a thief. No. Murderer.
And you can see, there's certain things that show up in the Gollum design that we really try to keep. The squareness of Andy's lips, and Andy's very complimentary in saying that it looks like his dad.
Bay's studied my face for 2.5 years, poor soul. So Bay, well done. And but he's come up with a whole range of emotional templates for the animators to use.
Where would you be without me? Ellen, I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me.
And what you actually will finally see on screen is going to be a lot of Andy Serkis.
And action!
We would shoot the scenes with Sean, Elijah, and Andy. We would then paint Andy out, so we had an empty background where he used to be. We would then have Andy basically replicate the scene, play the scene a second time, but this time in a very carefully controlled motion capture stage. And he'd basically be recreating his performance with the motion capture suit on.
I wear a motion capture suit which has reflective dots carefully positioned at all the joints, which are picked up by 25 cameras going all the way around the studio. And the Gollum puppet moves in real time to my movements.
And then his movements and his facial expressions, his performance, become essentially a computer puppet that the animators are able to use as a guide to animate Gollum in the most realistic way possible. And then obviously Andy Serkis will provide the Gollum's voice later.
My precious.
It's a tour de force balance of Randy Cook and the entire digital team and Peter Jackson's vision, and of an actor who is willing to give himself body, mind, and soul to the part.
I think when you see the movie, Gollum's performance is totally on par with Sir Ian McKellen or Vigo or Elijah, totally on par with that. He's holding his own in very esteemed company in our movie. And it really is because we based it totally on Andy, and then we had incredibly skillful animators who were able to then take everything that Andy did and manipulate it into what we ultimately see as this computer-generated character. The shells here are a mixture of final designs and preliminary ones,
The design process for any of these digital creatures starts in the design team, which is based in Richard Taylor's Weta workshop, and they'll work up sketches and then maquettes, physical models, until they get an approved physical design.
The Wargs are very closely aligned to
a mix of a bear, wolf, hyena hybrid. Their eyes are placed well out on the edges of their skull, so they've got incredible vision all round. The orcs like to think that they control these creatures, but like a badly broken in horse, these things are maniacal beyond belief, and they're barely kept on the very edge of control.
The wargs in the film are wolves plus a lot. Big, slobbering, nasty predators who these guys are riding around on, you know? But that shows you how tough the orcs are.
And action!
Peter described the orcs as being dock workers, these hardened, grisly-looking, almost schoolyard bully types that had bad acne when they were kids and got a real chip about it, and now they were basically pissed off and ready to go to war. So we wanted to create an immense variety of these characters. We've got the Moria orcs, and we theorized that they had never seen the light of day, and therefore their eyes have expanded to this massive size to try and take in as what little light is around.
Okay.
And then once again, in contrast, are of course the Urik-hai. These characters are malicious and maniacal beyond belief. Their singular focus is to find the ring, to beat the enemy.
Really the kind of silverback gorillas of the movie, you know, they're at the top of the food chain, bred by Saruman.
He developed this other race, this kind of monster master race, which is the Urik-hai, who don't tire, who have no feelings, who are not scared of death.
We've never actually seen what Mrs. Orc looks like, but I'd hate to go visiting for tea.
The Oliphaunts were done how we do all of our creatures, which is taking them from a design maquette to building the model, fitting the model with the skeleton, building a muscle rig around the skeleton that will drive the flesh, and then texturing them and lighting them into the scene. The additional element on the Oliphaunts are they carry these big towers with traveling Herat.
The Mumakil is going to be a really neat creature to see. They are gigantic, I believe 10 stories tall.
They differ from an elephant. If you put them side by side, you'd see the scale differences, like the head smaller, the tusks, you know, obviously there's multiple tusks. They're much, much bigger than elephants.
The Black Riders have dispensed of their horse land-bound creatures that they've tortured into submission and replaced them with the Fell Beast. These massive winged creatures, almost bat-like and serpentine, that live up in the highest reaches of the Barad-dûr ramparts.
If you think riding a warg is tough, you try to sit on one of these babies, because it's like a brontosaurus with wings.
It's so easy to take a dragon and put such small wings on it that it would be unfeasible that it could ever fly. But in the process of creating something like the Fell Beast, it's got wings the size of a 747 jumbo, because that's what it would physically need to get that body form off the ground.
It's like those big beetles that you see, those stag beetles. They're fine, they're okay on the ground, you can deal with them on the ground. But when you see one of them coming in with its wings out and its horns out, I mean, coming in like a bloody Boeing jet at you, you know, like nose height, I mean, it's quite terrifying.
Everybody's riding something different. No roller skates, no mopeds. This is like, you know, you get a big, unwieldy animal and you slap a saddle on it and you go to town. And that's sort of how they did it in Middle-earth, I guess.
Film 2, as Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli go on their journey to rescue Merry and Pippin, they come across the Rohans, and they have to cross the Rohans' lands.
The Rohirrim, the race of people of Rohan, have lived in stoic isolation for a very long time. They don't really know that much about alliances, don't have faith in that anymore.
Head north!
They're very staunch warriors. They have great character. Strong, sort of fearless warriors with long spears on fast horses. Highly romantic stuff.
The Rohan kingdom has a very dangerous weapon, which is an incredibly well-trained and powerful cavalry. They're all cavalry riders that live on plains, and they are horsemen. And if you have an army, a cavalry is everything.
And they've survived a long time on their own merits, their strength, their cleverness, their bravery, and their horsemanship, and their pride, above all.
It feels like you're stepping back into a slightly earlier period with the Rohirrim, and it's quite interesting, really, because it feels like the Fellowship do go on a journey backwards in time to a certain extent.
The location for Edoras was, to me, one of the most beautiful, most impressive. I mean, it was exactly what you would dream, you would hope that Edoras would look like and feel like.
It has the plains, and then it's the rocky outcrop in the middle with Edoras standing on top of it, and even down to the silver stream running through. It's just amazing.
Every little thing that's in the film is a work of art. It's beautiful. The people there that were working on this thing, and all knew the books like the back of their hands, and all of them respected the depth of the world that Tolkien had created.
We had to put in 1.5 kilometres of road up the side of a mountain with a couple of bridges over these rivers, and we encountered winds of up to 180 kilometres an hour. What was interesting about it is the whole thing is a bloody wind tunnel, because you've got these two mountain ranges, if you like, fairly close together, and a crag in top. And the wind used to belt down there, you know. The rawness of the land, the fact that we found locations that had a lot of grass, a lot of straw, meant that they probably would have had thatched roofs.
It was a huge project. I think they spent 8 months building it. And it was the first real place that I shot, and it was great to actually start in my home and just have this solid, huge building around me, the Golden Hall, and to be standing out the front of that, it was breathtaking.
Tolkien drew a lot of his inspiration for the Rohirrim from his knowledge of Anglo-Saxon culture, and the Beowulf, a wonderful epic poem in which there is this hall which resembles very closely, I think, the Golden Hall.
Lots of, wooden beams, horse motifs all around. Obviously lots of, golden fixtures, intricate designs on the floor, the stonework on the floor, the masonry, had interesting patterns and motifs, right the way through it. And sort of in the middle of it, there's this central fire pit, and the king sits right at the end of the hall, right opposite the door, and from there, that's where he holds court.
Everything was constructed for the movie on this knoll, on this little hill.
There was a majesty to that location, a secret valley. It seemed a very lonely place, but when we were there, of course, full of life, with all the amenities of a modern film being made.
And action! And we only shot there for 3 weeks, and then they dismantled it.
And if you go back to the valley now, which will take you about an hour and a half from the main road, you'll find no evidence that there was ever a film made there. The set is gone, the service roads that led up over this rocky outcrop have gone, and now it's just the sheep and the wind.